Welcome back, and have we got some catching up to do? There are some pretty exciting things coming up, but more on that later. The main topic right now is that the Chief Marshal Charlie is mobilising his navy and he is opening up enlistments to willing privateers. As part of this, we've also launched a YouTube channel, so to enlist, make sure you've liked and subscribed on one or all of our social media channels and signed up for our Tall Tales newsletter on our website. So stick around because we've been working on building your boats to a beautifully finished standard, as well as the technology which pushes us to the leading edge of wooden boat manufacturing. But since you're here on YouTube, I might as well take this as an opportunity to speak on behalf of the Chief Marshal Charlie about what he's trying to do with mountain boats. As realistically, he's all bleats in person and hooves on the keyboard and stuff, so not particularly useful. So the Chief Marshal Charlie, or Chuck as we like to call him, is considered to be the last professional goat in history. Once holding the title of Master Chief Petty Officer, Chuck was upholding the long-standing tradition of being the goat on the boat. Initially to milk, but after a time, they forgot the purpose of the goat, and by 2007, they decided enough was enough with tradition and the goat would have to go. Despite his enlisted service, the simple fact that Chuck is, well, a goat, means that he didn't get any benefits and had to work instead of retiring. So, after many adventures, he ended up in Canberra, Australia, among the trees. Now, obviously, Chuck would duck down to the coast on the odd occasion, and he noticed something lacking at the docks. Plastic and aluminium were abundant, but anything in the OG boat building material was either a collectible or a kit. Where was the basic wooden dinghy? Nothing fancy, just a little rowboat. He couldn't understand why this material, a potentially sustainable material, the OG source for floating, wasn't present in the market. Now, back to Chuck's story. The reason he was in the Navy in the first place was a long-standing tradition that dates up until modern refrigeration, as a goat was a much easier way to attain fresh milk compared to a cow. Now, the Navy still hold on to the tradition of consuming milk, but they don't need a flotilla to hold a herd. There will be no cows with guns, for we will fight for there'll be no shit parodies in this movie. So where were we? See, the thing about a tree is that there's a lot of them, and by that I mean some 60,000 species, all possessing different properties favouring different scenarios. Which wood do we use to build boats? All of them, and in all the configurations. We don't hold back beyond ethical supply chain concerns. The count currently at around 5 different species per hull. Again, I still don't name them specifically, as on one occasion I've used spotted gum as the dense hardwood, and on another occasion I used the West Australian jarrah, and that was a beautiful thing because it was a naturally formed aft quarter lodging knee. But that really starts to speak to what you can achieve using the advantages of each species as required by the build of the boat. So this ends up with a robust, lightweight and safe dinghy. And we don't just rest on the basic flotation of wood either. Level flotation through the design is a total thing, but that's a rabbit hole that we can't just dig down right now. Anyway, the Chief Marshal Charlie has first-hand experience of what traditions should and shouldn't be held, and a modern wooden dinghy was missing. Not an art piece, or a galley hewn from a tree built at the expense of hundreds of craftsman hours, or a backyard project, just a regular old off-the-shelf dinghy that came from the workshop just like the other cars in the lot, if you get what I mean. Now, if you've stuck around this long, this is where it gets juicy. As what does it really mean to build wooden boats with a healthy dose of science and modern manufacturing capabilities? So this is the elevator pitch. Our current production lines purchase plywood from a guy that buys it from another guy that uses thin bits of wood with adhesive in a flat press to make beautifully flat wood. Once we've purchased it, we use a bunch of jigs and templates and frames, CAD designed precision cut parts to intricately curve that flat bit of wood before we fit out and finish the boat. To achieve the leading edge of wooden boat building, we cut out a bunch of that. We start with our thin sheets of wood and adhesive, and in a boat-shaped press, we make an intricately curved shape that we can then fit out and finish. Sounds simple, but with manufacturing, simple to build normally means hard to set up. So in the background of operating our current production lines, we've been working on how this one bends and why this one breaks and why this one broke completely. Certainly a task that has required prolonged attention, and we've completed the nerdy testing, so it's time to turn plans into physical reality. As things become a lot more visual at this stage, we're breaking out the big guns and we're bringing you with us on the journey through social media. So get on board, ask any questions you need, and that's over and out. Peace.